Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that I hope is going to be encouraging. It might feel a little discouraging, but my hope is that when we get through it, you're going to feel encouraged at the end. So at the time of recording this, I'm 37. I have 6 kids. They are 11 and a half down to 2.5. So we had them in 8 years. I've been married for 12 years. We got pregnant on our honeymoon. So it's like we got married. It's just been the kid circus ever since. And it was a lot of kids in a short period of time. We've lived in 4 houses. This is the 4th house we've lived in as a family. We bought and sold a business. Probably some other family drama, like extended family drama in there. But it's just been a lot for 12 years. And in my great wisdom at age 37, I have gained this perspective that some things are hard for 2 to 5 years. And I think, when we're young, time feels different when you're young. And you kind of live school by the week and the month and the quarter and even a school year, which is really only 9 months, and then the summer. There's all these transitions that happen when you're younger that happen pretty quickly. So even though you know that you might go to school for 12 years or college for 4 years, those feel pretty normal and they're broken up in very precise ways that are predictable. So even if you got a really bad teacher in middle school, you're like, okay, it's going to be a rough 9 months with this teacher. Then I won't have that teacher anymore. But then I think as we become parents, we know that the whole parenting gig is like a lifelong gig. We know that they're going to live with us for about 20 years. I don't think any of us pretend that it's 18 anymore. I feel like it's 20. Although I've heard that you don't see them very much after they turn 16. So they're just like gone with their friends. So we know the parenting gig is long. But unlike school, they don't tell us when all the phases are going to happen. So you don't know how long you're going to have a teething 18-month-old. You don't know how long that three-nager age is going to last. I mean, you hope it's probably only going to be a year, but it's not like they turn 3 and then they're a terrible version of themselves with a lack of emotional regulation. And then when they're 4, they're better, right? All of these things kind of just happen and you don't know. And so a lot of the early parenting years are you dealing with things that are pretty uncomfortable and painful with no idea of how long it's going to last. And then for somebody like me who has back-to-back kids, it's just a lot. There's just a lot of phases happening at the same time, plus pregnancy and breastfeeding and sleep training. And you're kind of drowning. There's lots of joy, but there's also a lot of that drowning feeling. And I think if somebody had grabbed me and said, hey, it's just going to be a rough 2 to 5 years, I probably would have been really discouraged. That would have not been lovely or happy or helpful to me. So I say that knowing that some of you are really in that kind of phase right now. And listen, this could be you with older kids and rough teenagers or young adults. I think none of us make it out without having these rough seasons, but it makes me think of Viktor Frankl. It makes me think of the Polish guy, the As He Leadeth Me guy that was in that Russian internment camp. These people that endured extremely long bouts of dark, dark, dark suffering. And if you were to grab somebody in one of those places and say, listen, it's going to be a rough 2 to 5 years, that might feel really disheartening. But it could feel really hopeful to know that it was only going to be 2 to 5 years. And I think that that is what I would grab myself probably 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I would have been pregnant with Forrest. So we had the 3 girls I would have been pregnant with Forrest. We weren't super upset about that pregnancy. It was a little unplanned, but he was going to come 2 years after Violet, and that felt okay. And we probably knew that we were going to have a fourth kiddo. So it was a little earlier than we wanted, but it wasn't devastating. And if somebody had just said, hey, hang in there, I love you, it's going to be a really hard 5 years. And then it's going to be a lot better. I think I would have liked that. I think if I really believed them, that would have been very comforting to me. So I don't know what you're going through. And obviously, as humans, we go through lots and lots of different things. But at 37, I'm noticing a lot of the difficult things that we go through only last for 2 to 5 years. And that is a big range. But even if it was 5, even if what you're doing for 5 years, if I promised you, if you would just hang in for 5 years, that it was going to be markedly better, way better, would that make you feel better? To know it wasn't going to be hard forever. It wasn't going to be a hard 20 years. The kids will get older. The health problems will get better. For some of you, it's, caring for an aging parent or someone going through a gnarly health thing. And so I just want you to know I see you, I love you, and it probably will be markedly better in 2 to 5 years. And God is with you. And there are moments of joy along the way. It's not like we just give up. We just say, okay, it's going to be hard for that long. There's a lot of joy to be found along the way. But I hope it's encouraging to know it's probably only going to be 2 to 5 years. And your life is going to feel a lot better. And Mama, you are strong. You got this. God's got you. You can handle it. And you are part of a community of women who lift each other up in prayer. So I'm praying for you. Thanks so much for listening, and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed day.